Hey guys, welcome you all to a new video. This is CA Ganesh Bharadwaj. So, of late, I've been receiving a lot of messages from students asking me to provide them with guidance on how to approach case study based MCQs. Now, there are a few common queries that I've been receiving from students. Some students are finding it extremely complicated to crack case study based MCQs. Some students find it like, sir, we are able to crack it, but the problem is it is time consuming, right? And more so, these questions are with respect to all these issues are more so to do with practical papers like costing, FM, accounts, and all of that. So I just wanted to come up with a video wherein I will just give you a few tips or hacks so that it will definitely help you score well in this 30-mark component of case study based MCQs, right? So now let's get started. So now broadly, I'm going to tell you guys 4 time-tested tricks. Now, the first two tricks are with respect to how you do it at the time of exam. That is the things that needs to be followed during at the time of solving the sums, that is basically in your exam hall. And the other two are with respect to general preparation for your case study based MCQs. Now, the first thing that I wanted to share with you all is, now when there is a case study, so generally how these case study based MCQs will be given, you have a case study followed by 5 questions, each carrying 2 marks, right? Now what students generally do is they read the full case study, then they go on to read each and every question. And once they read a question, what they will do, once again, they will come back, read the case study, find the answer. Now don't do that. Now what you do is, ignore the case study, directly jump to the 5 questions that are mentioned below this particular case study. Now, quickly give a glance of these 5 questions. Sir, how will you be able to attempt it? You will not be able to attempt it immediately. Wait. You just go through these 5 questions. You will at least know what they are asking for in this particular case study. Now you go and read this case study. What will happen is you will look for these facts in that case study at the time of reading it. This way it will help you reduce a lot of time in your exam hall, because let's assume you're studying the case study first, right? Then once you read a question, once again you will come back and read the entire case study again. Instead of doing that, you save yourself some time, read the questions first, and then at the time of first reading of the case study itself, you will only look for these facts which they are asking for, because at the end of the day, they are not asking you to master the case study. All you need to do is attempt those 5 questions correctly, take 10 marks and go. That's all you need to do. If you're able to answer those 5 questions, you are being given a full 10 mark. So all you need to do is answer to these questions. So for that, you read the questions first and then look for these facts at the time of reading the case study. You will be definitely able to save up a lot of time when it comes to cracking these kind of questions in your case study based MCQs. This is one time tested thing and a repeated mistakes which many students do. You just try it once. Not an exam. Today you just pick your mock test paper or your RTP, anything you want. You just take one and you just attempt it and see it by yourself. You will see the magic. Definitely, as compared to whatever practice that you've been following till now, if you use this particular strategy, the time taken will definitely reduce a bit, right? You can maybe test it for yourself even after watching this particular video. Number 2, another common question that students ask me is, sir, whether should I attempt my MCQ component first or I should put it in the last? Now, this is something that you need to decide in the exam hall. Those 15 minutes of reading time that they give you, this is when you need to decide it. So there is no, common strategy like saying always attempt it first or always attempt it at last. It doesn't work out like that. Paper wise it differs, not just paper wise, in your attempt wise. In this particular attempt, it depends on the complexity of the question. That's why I said sequencing your particular MCQs, it depends on the complexity. So what do you mean by this? Now, first 15 minutes of reading time, obviously you will go through the entire paper at least once. Just go through. You're not going to answer everything. You're just going to go through. You will be seeing from which topics they are asking and all that. Now, this MCQ component, at the time of going through, you will have a rough idea whether it is seeming lengthy and complex or it is easily approachable, right? If you feel it's easily approachable and that too it is less time consuming, then you first start with that MCQ, right? That too, it is not necessary that if you start the first case study based MCQ, you need to do the other two also. It's not like that. right? Maybe you can do it one, may out of the 3 MCQs or out of the 30 marks, you find that one case study based MCQ weighing for 10 marks is going to be like relatively easier. Maybe you attempt that first, and the other 20 mark component of the MCQ, you find it a little lengthy. You please keep it aside. Now what you can do is you can go back to the descriptive area. First, write all the things that you know that are easily approachable. Try to score the maximum marks in a limited time available, and then you can come back to this complicated MCQ portion and finish that also, right? And one more thing, remember, if there is some MCQ that is complicated and towards the end, in a worst case scenario, you don't have time, at least you will not come unattempted, no? Right? So for each of the 5 questions that they are asking, at least you will tick one option and only you will come. At least there is a probability, 25% probability of getting the right answer in a worst case scenario, I'm saying, if you don't have time. Whereas this, this luxury is not there in a descriptive area. That's why I said you need to clearly judge in the exam hall. You don't come with a preconceived notion saying I will always attempt MCQ first or I will always attempt MCQ at the last. You first have this thumb rule of attempting all the questions that you know very clearly, and that too it is relatively lesser time consuming. You attempt these first. With a limited time, you'll score the maximum marks that will boost your confidence like anything, and even those complicated areas you will be able to score the maximum extent possible. This is a time-tested hack that I've been telling all the students, all my students who've been following it, and they have also given me a feedback that it has worked out well for them. So you can also use this, right? So these first 2 are the tips that you can follow inside your exam hall. Now, sir, generally, how do I prepare for case study based MCQs? Now, in my opinion, case study, any MCQs need not be separately prepared for, right? When you are learning the subject, you learn it conceptually. Automatically, any kind of question, be it an MCQ or a descriptive, you will be able to handle it beautifully, right? So that's why I'm telling you, focus on conceptual learning. Don't say MCQs I want to prepare separately. It doesn't work out like that. You learn the concepts, be it a numerical sum or an MCQ based question, you will be able to handle properly. So at the time of learning itself, you focus on conceptual learning. And of course, this requires some practice. So where do we practice? Our ICAI, our institute, has come up with a very beautiful initiative wherein in your Board of Studies knowledge portal, you have a separate login. You just need to enter your student registration number, right? And you just need to enter your date of birth also and log in. That's all it takes. There, for every subject, they have different case study based MCQs or direct MCQs. You please practice from there. They have a particular report also at the end saying for which question you have attempted, what is the answer that you have attempted, what is ideally the correct answer, how they have arrived at the correct answer. These are the things that they are providing. Please make use of that and also attempt the RTPs and MTPs and all. This is more than sufficient for you. But before you do that, the first key is your conceptual learning. Conceptually, you learn and you practice all these things. There is no doubt that you will be doing well. As simple as that, right? And most importantly, the first 2 things in the exam hall, you first read the questions and then move on to the case study. And of course, the way, how do I sequence it? You need to sequence it. That is writing it first or towards the end. It purely depends on the complexity of that particular question appearing in your particular attempt, right? So don't go with the preconceived notion. Do that particular decision in the first 15 minutes of your reading time, right? I hope you found this video useful. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.